Chica, diagnosed with a brain tumor at only 6 months old. By age 3, he had had over 20 surgeries and a year and a half of chemo. He's even been diagnosed with a syndrome where it makes it more likely as he gets older that he will develop additional cancers. He's the captain of his youth hockey club. He's on the bench for the first period tonight.
Cool moment there from Hockey Fights Cancer. This is Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast and YouTube show. News, narratives, takes, gambling. What's up? It's Controversial Wednesday. I just have some, we'll call it Gossip Wednesday. Today, we've got some creepy stuff to talk about. The Flyers and the Carolina Hurricanes right there for Hockey Fights Cancer. Shout out to Owen for getting to be on the bench. How cool is that? You love to see us. Let's dive right in, huh? Actually, we'll go to some news. Bobby Petrino, the disgraced Arkansas head coach who was in an automobile accident with someone, not his wife, and someone who was his employee. Actually, it wasn't an automobile. I guess it was an automobile. It was an automobile. It was a motorcycle, got in a crash. Gave an infamous press conference where he was all screwed up and looked horrible after he got caught cheating on his wife because he got in a car accident. Now he's headed back to Arkansas. He's a great football coach. He was great at Louisville. I think he was the head coach when they had Lamar Jackson. He was great. He's headed back to Arkansas, I think, to be the offensive coordinator. How crazy is that? What a small world. The content machine never stops churning. Shouts to Levi Williams, the quarterback for Utah State, has given up his NCAA eligibility to go into Navy SEAL training. How about that? Okay, let's get into some goss. Some hot goss. Corey Perry, a legendary hockey player, an old hockey player, but a legendary hockey player, signed with the Chicago Blackhawks in the offseason. They signed him. They're a horrible team, but they have this Connor Bedard guy. They have some other young guys. They're trying to develop them. They needed a grown-up. They needed a guy that could toss the knucks, throw some hands to defend their young guys. And then he suddenly gets waived. What happens is he leaves the team for personal matters, and then he gets waived. What is going on? Everyone was like, that's weird. Maybe he's just upset because he's not in the lineup. He just doesn't want to, if he says, like, why am I going to go through all this if I'm not going to play? That was the first assumption. That happens all the time. People retire. That one Buffalo Bill guy retired in the middle of the season one time. And then he was placed on unconditional waivers, which means that the Blackhawks don't want him anymore. They are getting rid of his contract. And then the internet's like, hey, we know what happened. People are apparently sliding into other people's DMs. The rumor is that Corey Perry on the mom's trip, which is something that NHL teams do, and I think baseball teams do this a lot too, whenever they're going to a cool place, they invite the moms or the dads to come hang out. They all hang out with each other. They watch their kids play. The rumor is that Corey Perry banged Connor Bedard's mom. Yep. Connor Bedard's like 19, 18. His mom is like in her mid-30s, I believe. Somewhere in there, you can do the math. I don't know. Maybe late 30s. I don't know. So that's the rumor, and the rumor got so hot.
Remember, this happened to LeBron James one time. That's why a lot of people said he lost the finals. The Mavericks
couldn't concentrate. His opponent banged his mom. Seriously, Google it. So now the rumors have gotten so intense that the GM, I believe, or the president, or some guy with the suit for Chicago. Remember, Chicago had that thing where they had an assistant coach forcing players to have sex with him. Remember that? Yep. So they got this guy, Kyle Davidson, I believe is their GM, had to address the situation.
As this is an individual personnel matter, I will not be able to disclose any details related to the initial reporting, investigation, or the findings.
Totally.
However, I do want to be very clear on this one point.
Right.
This does not involve any players or their families, and anything that suggests otherwise, or anyone that suggests otherwise, is wildly inaccurate, and frankly, it's disgusting.
Let's read the comments. What are they going to say? Nobody believes you. He's lying. That one's tough. Has Bedard Perry on the back of Connor Bedard's jersey. Uh-oh. And this is a meme. Oh, sure. Sure. So this means everybody believes it. Corey Perry signed with a new team, I think, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and this was his first practice. He wasn't practicing, but he did show up. This is what it looks like. just all the boys gathered around, got something to say or talk to him. But remember, this is not a situation where like, oh, that's Corey Perry, let's go talk to him. This is all of these guys probably, I mean, I don't know who that is. Tampa has won Stanley Cups. Like back-to-back, they're an elite franchise. And now they have something to talk to Corey Perry about. I wonder what they're asking Corey about. Interesting situation happening. This is annoying. Hockey has gross sex stuff all the time. It's creepy. And I don't like it. The NBA has a gross sex thing happening right now. This guy named Josh Giddy. Over the weekend, it came out that someone who was under the age of, I don't know if it was actually under the age of consent. I don't know, different laws in different states. He plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And some guy somewhere got a screenshot of his Snapchat that said his girlfriend cheated on him and banged Josh Giddy. Girlfriend, was she able to consent? No. But then we go back through a bunch of tweets and message boards and we find out people have been accusing him, not like serious accusations, but essentially men and other girls have been like, that guy talks to 17-year-olds constantly. Bad. Josh Giddy, I believe, is like 21, 22 years old, somewhere in there. So like this would be rape, depending on what state everyone is in and from. Gross. So that's what's happening in the NBA. The other thing that we're keeping an eye on for Controversial Wednesday, this will be a quick Controversial Wednesday. Sports Illustrated, and I'm going to look more into this before we talk about it maybe next week. Sports Illustrated was apparently using AI bots to write stories and got caught doing it. Which makes sense because that's kind of stuff that they do. They're cutting, remember when it was just like a household name and now they're just nothing? I'd say I can't believe it, but I mean, we all can totally believe it. Right. ESPN Bet, which used to be kind of Barstool Bet. It's hard to explain, but remember when Penn Entertainment bought Barstool because they wanted a content machine paired with a gambling app, and then they sold Barstool back to Dave Portnoy for $1, legendarily, mythically, whatever. He sold his company back to him for $1, and then they, in the middle of the night, paired with ESPN because they have a vision of doing the same thing, but the Barstool thing wasn't working out. I don't think Barstool's got the robust capital. Remember, Disney owns ESPN, so it's a little bit better situation for them. They are starting things off with a bang. ESPN, which launched in November, has one of the worst house rules in sports betting industry, where if one bet pushes into parlay, the entire bet is void. Should any of us be shocked by this? No. The gambling industry wants to make monies. Go away. 5-leg parlay. This saw the Eagles push, which was the Eagles were favored by 3. Hold on. I guess they scored a touchdown, so they were down and they scored a touchdown. Okay, all right, so they win by 3 because they don't have to kick the extra point, which they used to have to do that, by the way. If no matter when the touchdown was scored, they used to make you kick the extra point, and they're like, well, in overtime, what's the point? They just, whatever, it doesn't even matter. So I think that changed semi-recently. The bet in question was a same-game parlay that included Devontae Smith. Same-game parlays are something that not all sportsbooks do because they can really, they can get away from quick. Same-game parlay that included Devontae Smith, DeAndre Swift, Eagles -3, Diggs over receiving yards, and Josh Allen over passing touchdowns. This was labeled no bet by ESPN Bet. Whoa. I get it. It's a D-bag move. It's just, dude, just take it off of there. It was only -140. I really don't understand. I really don't understand why this kind of thing has to be such an enormous deal, man. You know what I mean? Like, just do it. Just have some, and then what you do is you honor the bet, and then you're like, look at this parlay this guy hit, and then you get other people to bet parlays. People are horrible at PR. I swear to God. It cannot possibly be this difficult. It really can't be. Oh, my God. Shaq Lawson of the Buffalo Bills got heated with an Eagles fan and shoved them. He apologized. Here's his apology. Those of you who know me know I'm all about the fans. I have a lot of respect for the game that I play and my opponents. Before the game started yesterday, there was a fan behind our bench who was making life-threatening remarks towards us and our families. We asked Philadelphia security to remove the fan, but he was allowed to stay for the entire game. Eventually, our emotions boiled over, and I made a mistake for that. I apologize. But there are certain lines that should not be crossed. I think that As far as apology butts go, that's not a bad apology butt. He's like, I'm sorry, but I mean, also there are lines that shouldn't be crossed. He didn't blame the guy, but he did say like that guy was fucking. So that's a very well worded statement.
My name is Pete.
Whoops. That guy is a very well worded statement from a guy that I think has good PR and understands how to do this kind of thing. Thursday Night Football coming up tomorrow. What is the game, I wonder? I actually don't know. We are in the parts of the NFL schedule where there could be a game any day. Nobody knows. Seahawks at Cowboys. That'll be a good one. All right,
We'll preview that back and better than ever tomorrow morning.